My name is Lillian Thies, and I am a sophomore in high school. So, have you ever noticed the increasing number of children diagnosed with autism? Have you ever wondered if something during pregnancy might be contributing to this increase? Since 2000, the prevalence of autism has risen from roughly 1 in 150 children to 1 in 36. Is there something we are doing while the fetus is in our bodies that greatly impacts neurological development and is contributing to the rise in autism? If so, can these factors be avoided? Warm greetings to all present. As we gather here today, I am excited to introduce my research about the effects of maternal negative behaviors on neurological fetal development, particularly its impact on the increasing risk for autism. So kind of already went over this, but my name is Lillian Thies, and I am presenting from a small town called Glasgow in Missouri. And yes, I am a sophomore in high school. So this presentation will address the research problem, provide background, and review three main adverse social behaviors and discuss key conclusions. My problem statement. Despite growing awareness around maternal health, a significant gap remains in understanding the mechanism through which negative behaviors affect fetal brain development and thus increase the risk for conjugate dysfunction, particularly in growing numbers of autistic diagnoses. My research question. How do negative social behaviors such as smoking, drinking alcohol, and other recreational drugs during pregnancy influence brain development, which could lead to an increased risk of infants having neurological and developmental disorders such as autism? Understanding the brain development during pregnancy is crucial for explaining how negative social behaviors can contribute to neurological delays. Fetal brain development begins as early as the third week of gestation, often before many women realize they are pregnant. A significant amount of brain development occurs during the first trimester, as outlined in the timeline. During the third week after fertilization, the central nervous system begins to develop from a structure called the neural plate. This neural plate folds inward to form the neural groove, which ultimately develops into the neural tube by the fourth week. This process continues with the formation of the key brain structures, the forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. The cerebellum, one of the earliest structures to develop, forms between 4 and 6 weeks post-conception and marks the beginning of the formation of the right and left hemispheres. This early stage of development makes the fetal brain particularly vulnerable to various influences during prenatal growth. Therefore, the social behaviors of an expectant mother during this period can significantly impact neurological outcomes. But how does this increase the risk for autism? Autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD, is described by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders as a complex developmental condition involving persistent challenges with social communication, restricted interest, and repetitive behavior, which develops before the age of 3 and is with or without accompanying intellectual impairment. On the other hand, neurological disorders are a diverse group of conditions that affect the brain, spinal cord, and nerves throughout the body. Dopamine is one of the earliest neurotransmitters to occur in the developing brain. Alterations in dopamine levels can contribute to the development of disorders such as autism. The risk of autism increases as dopamine levels are vulnerable to various negative influences during pregnancy. Dopamine content and dopamine receptors are the highest among forebrain regions in the brain, and exposure to negative behaviors increases the risk of delayed conjugate function. Additionally, increases to dopamine will likely push more to the left hemisphere, which is more defined function than the right hemisphere, increasing the risk of autism. But why is dopamine so important? The importance of dopamine in the brain development is impact of its role in the cell expansion, thus associating the likelihood that imbalances in dopamine levels could translate into lasting impairment of the structure and function. To better understand the connection between these adverse behaviors to brain development during pregnancy, let's examine how each influences the likelihood of developing autism. First, smoking. Research has established a correlation between the uterine exposure to nicotine and other elements of smoking has shown evidence for risk factors for neurological disorders that includes autism. So, how does smoking during pregnancy impact the fetal brain development? When smoke is inhaled from a cigarette, nicotine is distilled from the tobacco and carried to the lungs where it is absorbed rapidly into the pulmonary venous circulation. Thus, nicotine binds to the neurological NACHRS that is immediate fast neurotransmission to the central and peripheral nervous system. This then signals the release of neurotransmitters such as dopamine as rates greater than expected. Gestational nicotine exposure has shown a decrease in the total numbers of cells within the brain, along with a decreased brain volume in the frontal lobe and the cerebellum. This leads to the decrease in the ratio thickness and impacts the dopamine release in the frontal cortex. Research has shown increasing evidence of a link between maternal smoking and increased risk of autism. Although the epidemiology of the factors is mixed, it is evident that neurological disorders have resulted from smoking while pregnant. Next, alcohol. With a significant amount of brain development occurring in the first few weeks of conception, most women do not realize they are pregnant, and therefore are less likely to adjust their lifestyle, which could include drinking alcohol. So, how does alcohol consumption during pregnancy impact fetal brain development? A major condition associated with alcohol and pregnancy is fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Alcohol easily crosses the placenta and distributes rapidly into the fetus, including the amniotic fluid, which prolongs the fetus's exposure to it. Prenatal alcohol exposure reduces the overall brain volume and impacts the reduction of gray and white matter within the cerebrum. While impacting the thickness of the cerebral cortex heightens the risk for cognitive performance delays. Additionally, alcohol decreases the folic levels during pregnancy, impacting the neurological development with the fetus. Studies outline how important folic levels are during pregnancy because it reduces the risk of neural tube defects. Chronic and heavy alcohol use in pregnancy impairs folic transport to the fetus, altering folic contractions within the placenta. This was confirmed in altered folic levels in clinical trials of infants with the fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and autism. In addition, research has shown deregulation of dopamine as a result of alcohol intake during pregnancy was more frequent in children with autism. Recreational drugs. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, 3 to 7% of pregnant women in the U.S. use marijuana during pregnancy. The use level of cannabis has doubled since the early 2000s, with many states legalizing the use, which one could correlate the connection with at the same time as increased prevalence for autism. So, how do recreational drugs consumption during pregnancy impact fetal brain development? The primary psychoactive element of cannabis is THC. It can cross the placenta and the fetal blood-brain barrier, causing disruptions in the endogenous cannabinoid signaling embryonic neural development in the fetus. Not only is cannabis a concern, but also prenatal use of cocaine and heroin have significant impacts on the fetal brain. Fetal cocaine exposure during pregnancy disrupts brain monoamines, especially dopamine, in the course of the critical stage of development. Cocaine causes fetal growth retardation, seizures, respiratory distress, cerebral malformation, and in some cases, sudden infant death syndrome. Most recreational drugs showed reduced fetal brain volume, impaired dopamine pathways, and increased delay in cognitive development with reduced white and gray matter within the cerebrum. The primary neurological disorder that can translate to the fetus is autism. Recreational drugs were among the highest to increase risk in developing autism with comparing the 3 adverse social condition behaviors. The literature review provides a thorough assessment of negative social behaviors during pregnancy, such as smoking, alcohol consumption, and recreational drug use. However, there are significant gaps in the research that need to be addressed. Many women are unaware of their pregnancy in the early stages. Several articles indicated that data was collected through patient surveys, which increases the risk of recall bias and memory issues. Additionally, there may have been selection and reporting bias involved as well. These factors, coupled with negative societal perceptions of such behaviors, likely resulted in patients not being completely honest about their smoking, alcohol, and recreational drug use during pregnancy. Some of the studies noted limitations in the ability to examine the fetus throughout the course of the pregnancy, limiting full outcome assessments. Finally, understanding how social economics plays a role in fetal medicine, especially with regard to preventative measures, health literacy, and access to prenatal medicine. Understanding how adverse social conditions such as smoking, recreational drugs, and alcohol affect brain development in the fetus can provide a valuable insight into the long-term implications for individuals and society. Pregnancy is a crucial period for brain development, and the social behaviors of the mother play a significant role. By examining how negative social behaviors influence this process, I aim to contribute to a more comprehensive understanding of maternal fetal health. My research could potentially inform interventions and support systems for expectant mothers, fostering healthier developmental outcomes for children. Moreover, this topic is particularly relevant because it addresses equality issues and resource access. Many women face chronic stressors or adverse social situations that can affect their well being and their baby's development. By shedding light on these impacts, I hope to advocate for better societal support and policy changes that can help mitigate these risks. Ultimately, I aim to explore the intricate relationships between social behaviors, maternal health, and child development, hoping to promote healthy populations for future generations. Thank you.
Wonderful. Awesome job, Lillian. We're going to open it up for questions. One of the questions I had got in, so you talked about smoking, recreational drugs. Which would you say is the most harmful behavior from mothers that affect premature babies' brain development? The
I
most.
think the
Yeah.
most,
Mm-hmm.
I think that can be between, all of them are very, very significant, but I think alcohol because well, a lot of women, as I said, a lot of women don't know they are pregnant. And the alcohol, some people drink a lot of alcohol, some people don't. It just depends on the woman. And I think, yes, I think alcohol can have the most, or recreational drugs as well.
Awesome. Thank you. The other question I received is how is brain development different between premature babies and full-term babies?
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of research into the preemie babies or the full developed babies. Um, I think with all of these recreational drugs, alcohol, and smoking, I do think preemie is a option that probably most likely happens. Um, so yeah, I think yeah,
Awesome.
preemie is definitely an option.
Thank you. And the last question we got in was what was the most unexpected thing that you learned throughout your research?
The most unexpected thing I got, that's a hard question.
Mhm. Take your time.
Is um I think definitely the cocaine, the heroin. I know I didn't talk a lot about heroin. But definitely the recreational drugs really surprised me. I mean, the double use like through the early 2000s of cannabis and states legalizing it. I think that was definitely the most like surprising thing that I found.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lillian.
Thank
Congratulations. You did
you.
a great job.